Hi, this is Gary at Webdesign. This is an introduction to our new stacks. We've developed a whole load of stacks specifically to use with our new template system. They can of course be used with the project system as well, but these were designed specifically to fill gaps. There were no stacks that would do basically what these were doing, specifically what these were doing, or either they were too complex, and the combination of all these has made things possible that weren't possible before, and also it's made things much more simple and easy to understand, which was just key to what our templates and projects are all about. It all started, why the name PADDY? Well, the original one was just a very simple spacer. A spacer has just become so useful, and it's an easy to understand element. But this one is a bit more useful in that it uses different types of spacing. So you can use pixels if you want, but this one will use proportional height based on the screen height or the width, or even the height of the parent that the stack is in. So it's easy to use, super useful. So that was the first one, and that's why it's called PADDY. There was padding. What can I say? So the second one, actually, there's just a simple demo here, but you can see we've got 50% of the height of the screen, 50% of the parent height, 25% of the width, and 50 pixels. So if you scale the size of this screen, you'll see how these change, and it just gives you more options to try and keep things looking right. You can see if I alter the height now, the black one in the middle, which is based on width, doesn't change. So there's a whole load of examples there on the page. You can go in and see what it does. I guarantee you will miss this if you start using it and you don't have access to it anymore. It's a great stack. Of course, after PADDY was the PADDY Plus. This is another similar one, but it's got more breakpoints. So you could remove or alter padding for different breakpoint ranges. So you could do something for tablet, you could do something for a tablet, whatever that size is. You've got complete control over it as well, and then a small device. Now the next two, really pleased with these. The 3-column stack, simple 3-column stack that does things no other 3-column stack does, and the 2-column stack also does that. Now if I show you that, this demonstration will make it all apparent. Inside here are basically two stacks, a 3-column stack, PADDY column stack, and a 2-column in each one of those. All of the breakpoints here are fully configurable. So as I scale this down, we get to a point which is completely up to you what you want to put in there. You're not restricted by having to accept whatever your system says is a tablet or a mobile. You can put whatever you want in there, and that means you can scale it exactly and make it look exactly the way you want. So let me just, right. So now we're in 3 columns. If I go down further, we've now gone to 2 columns, three lots of 2 columns. Usually when you go from 3 columns, you go down to just 1 column and it stacks on top. And it's a bad use of space, and it doesn't look as good as this does. And there's one other trick that this does. This will swap the columns. So normally you'd have, if we go back up, you'll see we've got 3 colors on the bottom, this sort of beige on the top. This middle one is set to swap. You click one tick box and this will swap the columns. So if we come back down, there we go, it's swapped. So normally this orange would be on this side, this beige would be on that side. One tick box swaps these over. Dead easy to use, very, very useful. After that we have the PADDY col stack, which basically is a spacing stack, and you can set it to different breakpoints. You can set it to set a maximum, different percentages, and have a look at the site, have a look at the Webdesign site. There's a stacks page. Just have a close look at how these different things scale. Really useful for creating a nice white space around the edge of screens, and really useful for changing that as you get down to smaller screens where you can't afford to have a white space. That's exactly what this is designed for. There's another one, adds more column depending on screen sizes. Again, very useful in layouts. One of the things we realized, one of the problems we often came across, was that as you go down in size, you often remove padding, but you want to add padding sometimes. So when you go from say a 3 column down to 1 column on a tablet, you might want to increase the padding, and then you might want to remove the padding, but not completely, to leave some padding in, just to keep the whole thing kind of lined up and looking good. And then we created what we call PADDY Viz. This is a sort of hide and show stack, or a sort of visibility stack. Very, very simple. There's no simpler visibility stack out there. This has just got two containers within edit mode in RapidWeaver. You drop something in the top, drop something in the bottom, and there's plain English saying what's going to happen. It says the stack below will be shown below, at or below such and such. It's easy to understand. And then there's a more complex version of that. And this, instead of having 2, this has got 3. So you could, for example, hide something for a large screen, or show something specific for a large screen, then show something specific for a medium screen, and then show something completely different for a mobile. Again, dead easy to set up. There's edit modes in both of these, so you can see the information on screen in edit if you want. And then there's just a very simple hide stack. But this has become useful in that it makes some of our layouts so much easier to have this. So that's why we put it in there. And it's all part of the new template system. I hope you like it. Any questions,